Hi, everybody. I thought I'd check in and see how you're doing on defining your life, defining your health, defining all about all those dreams and aspirations and things you wanted to do. And I started thinking a lot about, in the past, how many diets I had been on, why they had failed before, and sort of why things are going better for me now. So I'm not perfect. I've found some ways that have helped me to define my life, change my life completely in a total 180, and how I did that, and want to share some of that with you. But I also wanted to discuss why I failed before. And part of that comes down to, I've got lots of notes up on my computer, so looking back again, I started thinking about expectations. Sometimes we set ourselves up for failure, and I'm not quite sure why we do that, but we do. We have sort of expectations of what our lives are going to be, and then when they aren't that, we have a lot of depression, a lot of sadness, and then we really start beating ourselves up about what we did wrong, or what we thought we did wrong, or why we didn't do this, or why we didn't do that. And it's just not realistic. One of those for me was I always wanted the perfect family. I was adopted, and there's a few things that come with that, with knowing that you're an adopted child. Though you can have a wonderful family, and families are, pretty typical as far as mom, dad, sisters, brothers, whatever. There's a little thing in the back of your head that sticks with you that you weren't wanted. Even though my adopted mom was really great about saying to me how I was chosen, that some babies come just simply because the mother's pregnant or whatever, and she has to have the child. In my case, I was actually chosen. I was definitely wanted by my adopted family, and that was a wonderful way of putting it. But as you get older and you become a mom yourself, you still have that little thing in the back of your mind of, why was I given up? So I wanted to talk about expectations. I've always had this thing about wanting to have this perfect family. I wanted the Waltons. That's what I wanted. I wanted to create the Waltons for myself. I wanted to get married and have the perfect life and have the perfect children and live on a mountaintop. All of those things that just, let's face it, weren't realistic. I have been very unlucky in love and marriages, and though I have two wonderful kids and wouldn't trade them for anything in the world, there's still things that there were expectations that I set the standard way too high and just could not complete that for myself. And it's the same in every area of your life. There's nothing wrong with setting a goal and trying to reach it. And that's actually what we're doing in defining our lives. But I want you to be really realistic about it. There are going to be days when you completely, especially when it comes to dieting, you're completely going to blow it. You're not going to exercise, or you're not going to diet correctly, or you're going to eat maybe stuff you shouldn't eat, or you're not really watching it that closely, and so you stay the same. I'm good at that. I'm good at staying the same. So set the goals that you set are fine. Like down the road, you want to lose, say, 50 pounds. But let's be realistic about it. Let's try and say, okay, this week we're going to lose 5, or we're going to lose 2.5, or whatever. Be very realistic about your goals. And you know what? As long as you never give up and you keep continuing, you will eventually reach that goal. Like with me and my 80, I've eventually reached that goal. I have set another 5-pound goal for myself. When I get there, I'll let you know. It may be a while, but the whole point is that I'm not going to give up until I get there. I have a specific event coming up in about 3 months that I really want to drop a good 10 to 15. So I'm going to be pushing pretty hard here on making that goal. So, but that's the same thing for you. Set realistic, small goals, and you'll reach them. Even if it's something as simple as, I want to get along better with my significant other, and maybe looking at yourself about how you're reacting rather than responding to certain things that are happening in your life. I want you to set realistic goals. Sorry, got to scroll. Hold on a sec. If you're completely feeling what I call undone by your circumstances, then ask yourself, And actually somebody else wrote this, so I want to give credit to that. Somebody else wrote this statement. Ask yourself if there is a mismatch between the reality of your situation and what you expected. If there is, then you have set yourself up for frustration and disappointment. Instead of trying to change necessarily what's going on, we're not trying to change your life, we're trying to define your life. And what I mean by that is focus your life. What is your focus? One of my focuses in the last 6 months has been peace. I love having peace in my life. And I have people around me that have a tendency to tend to react rather than respond. And that can really throw my peace off. And I actually had that going on yesterday during football. It was the football playoffs yesterday. So there was a lot of reaction going on and not a whole lot of responding. And from myself as well. Screaming at the TV like people could hear me. So I want you to think about that in every aspect of your life. Are you responding to situations or are you reacting? If you're hitting a 10 pretty quickly, you're not responding, you're reacting. You need to breathe. Breathe and take a second. And during another situation where somebody was reacting pretty hardcore, I chose peace and quiet and silence. And another person walked in and said, are they having a hard time? I said, oh yeah, they're losing it. They're completely losing it. They go, well, you're pretty calm. I'm like, yeah, because it's not my problem. You know, it's their thing. Let them react how they're going to react. I'm going to respond to that by not reacting to what they're doing. So that's where we're at. Have you set yourself up for disappointment by setting unrealistic goals? If you are looking at more than 50 pounds, I'm going to say like 100 pounds, like I was looking at 150 that I needed to lose, or about 130 to 150. It's unrealistic to be looking at that huge goal. You need to be setting 5-pound goals and celebrating every single time you reach one. I have a certain pan that I've been wanting for a while. It's for roasting chilies. I use a lot of chilies and spice in my food because I don't use a lot of like sugar and carbohydrates and that kind of stuff. So I like to really pump up the volume on spices. And this is for specifically for roasting your chilies. And I bought it today. I was celebrating me. Imagine that. My mother had given me money for my birthday, and I thought, you know what? I'm getting that darn pan. So that's what I want you to do. Celebrate your life. Celebrate defining your life, even if you're taking baby steps. So proud of you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope your team won. Take care. Bye-bye.